Hey everybody, it's Valerie. Hopefully you can hear me. Well, I'm going to check my phone and make sure that you can hear me. So, just give me 1 second here. We're going to go to Facebook. We're going to go to the public group and make sure you can see me on the screen. Okay, so let's see if we can hear me. Just give me 1 second here. We're going to go to Facebook. Yay! Okay, so we're going to talk about Google My Business today. So let's go to my computer, and the first thing we're going to look at is a Google My Business checklist. So let's see if we can make this any bigger for you. Alright, now I gotta turn this down because otherwise I'm gonna drive myself crazy. Pardon me. Okay. So Google My Business has become more and more important as time has gone on. If you do not have access or ownership of your Google My Business listing, which is your directory listing on Google, you need to have it. I recommend to all of our clients that if they are not a franchise, typically if you're a home care or senior care franchise of some kind, the franchisor will control your Google My Business listing. That's okay, but you should still have the opportunity to edit it. You should be a manager of it. They might be the owner. For all the rest of you, you should be the owner. If you're the owner of your business, should be the owner of your Google My Business listing. This is also something I want you to keep in mind when you're selling or buying a business. I know that a lot of things happen with transactions and deals and contracts and things like that, but when you're buying a business, investigate every single part of that business's online activity so that you know how to access their website. You know how to get the URL of the website, of the business's website. You know, you've got access to the GoDaddy account. And then Google My Business is often overlooked. You need to make sure that that previous business owner, before things get weird and before the deal is done, that previous business owner gives you ownership of your Google My Business listing. Now, in our case, as an agency who manages Google My Business for lots and lots of home care agencies across the country, we ask for manager access. So if you're in one of our programs where we are managing your Google My Business, you'll notice that we don't ask for ownership access. I would say that's a no, no, no. I may change my mind at some point, but I really don't want to own anybody's Google My Business listing. I want you to own it. I just want to be able to manage it. And when you let an agency manage it, then oftentimes they can make all the changes they need. They don't have to be owners. There are some advantages to letting an SEO company own your Google My Business, only in that they can put you all under one major account. It's kind of crazy. Basically what we do is we just ask for manager access. We do not want to own it. So you should own your Google My Business listing. What you see on my screen is a Google My Business checklist. So I'm going to go through some basics here, and you can download this checklist for free if you go to asnmarketingplan.com/GEM, GEM. That's our Google Enhanced Marketing Program. So if you go there, you can just download this for free. It's not a big deal. You can right click on it and download. It's just like a 2-pager. So when you're setting yours up or when you're looking at it, and I'm going to get back to what has become super important. I'm going to give you a few examples, but your business name is really important. And spamming out your business name with lots of locations and that, I would be very careful with that. So if your name is, and I'm going to use our friends at Expert Home Care. If your name is Expert Home Care, if you have 2 locations that are close to each other, you might have Expert Home Care New Brunswick, and you might have Expert Home Care Red Bank, New Jersey. So if you had 2 offices, you might want to delineate which office is which. But you really don't need to do that. Just be very careful about adding a bunch of towns to your business name. If somebody recommends you do that, I would be very wary of their SEO expertise, because that can get your listing suspended. Just be careful. And changing the name of your business after your business has been verified can also cause a suspension. Google is really sensitive. We kind of call Google the Google monster. If you hack off the Google monster will take you down. You don't want to do that, and it's really hard to get back in the game. So business name, keep it real. Choose your proper categories. So for all of you in the United States, you want to choose home health care if you are a home care business. You are not a medical office. I know that you are not some of you are technically not a home health care agency. Google does not give us options for other things. So just pick home health care and be done with it. That's what consumers are confused about anyway, and that's what they're going to pick. It doesn't mean that you're classified as a home health care agency. It just means for Google's purposes, that's what you're going to pick in the United States. There's also aged care and a few other things in there that might seem like they're correct, but they are not correct. So don't pick that other stuff. Service areas. You are, if you are a home care agency, you are a service area business. If you have a home office, that is okay. You can set yourself as a service area business, and you will show up. Your home address will not show up, but your service area will show up. Put all your towns, counties, everything you serve in there. This is what we do for our clients. It can get a little confusing, but it does work well if you know how to play the game right. If you do have an office location, absolutely, you can put your office location in there, and yes, the address can show up. But you're still a service area business, and what that means is, just like a plumber or a roofer, people don't typically come to you, you go to them. And so I would always try to do what's right there. If you have multiple locations, you don't have to put in a service area business, but you have to be real locations. UPS stores and PO boxes are not okay. Google will not verify your listing if you're using a UPS store address or a PO box. Also, if you're using a Regis business location, so it's like a big giant business office, and you can rent a room for $99 a month, or a box number, and you can use the stuff as needed, but you really don't have a true technical office there that you go to every day, that's also suspect. Google's onto that. So if you're going to have an office location in one of those buildings, you need to pay the full rent and have a real office that you go to every day with your name on the door, and they will ask you to prove it sometimes. They're also, they want to see a picture, they want to prove who you are, they want to see letterhead, they want to see a bill, like a utility bill that comes to that address. So Google's picky. Hours. As far as I'm concerned, I know that you're not really open 24 hours a day, but you are open 24 hours a day. So if a client calls in the middle of the night, you're not going to ignore that because it's not 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. You're going to answer the phone. What happens is, if you put in your hours as 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and your competitor, and it's 7 p.m. at night, and your competitor says they're open, your listing will show as closed. And you're going to lose that call because you're closed. So you should always list yourself open as 24 hours a day. Phone numbers. I always recommend that you have a primary phone number and a secondary phone number. The secondary phone number should be your real office phone number. The first phone number, if you have access to it or if you're our client, should be a tracking number. And the reason we do that is because we want to know how many calls are coming in from that Google My Business listing. Also, if you're one of our clients, what we can do, and you may be able to do this through another service, if you set it up correctly, we can make sure that every single text that comes in or message that comes in from your Google My Business listing is sent automatically to your phone. You'll never miss a phone call, and you'll never miss a text or a message that comes from Google. And Google is hot on the messaging right now. So if you don't have that set up, you need to get it set up. And for our clients who are in our CRM, which is called the ASN Spark CRM, what we do is we hook up their Google My Business to the CRM, and when somebody messages or calls from the CRM, we have instant notification to our clients directly to their phones and to their email with the information that the person put in. And we also do what's called a missed call text. So if they do miss that call for some reason, an instant text goes out to that person that says, I'm so sorry we missed your call. We'll please call our office again, or we'll call you back ASAP. And then a notification is sent to the client, our client, the home care agency, or the senior care business that says, hey, call this person back. They just called and you missed it. So you never miss a call. Profile short name, I think they're getting rid of these, so we're not going to worry about this. It used to be that, just like with Facebook, you could put a short name or short URL for your Facebook business page. Some of you may have it, and most of you probably do have it, but moving forward, they're going to get rid of that. Your main website URL, absolutely. Your contact website URL, yes. Products and services, this gets tricky, but you should put in all your services, and you should put in your services as products. Now, some people would disagree with me on that, but if you do it right, you have a really nice profile on Google My Business. You got to do it right. You got to use, don't use stock photos, and don't put your phone number in any of your services or products. You have to leave the phone number out. Google does not like you to put phone numbers, and sometimes they don't like you to put website addresses in these services and products. So you have to have a nice description with all your keyword phrases for each of the services and products that you add, and nice pictures, but I don't recommend using straight up stock photos. Be careful how you do this, but it will look fabulous when you do it right. I'll show you an example of that. Your highlights and attributes. They change this from time to time. If you are a woman-led business, you definitely want to check that off. You may be a Black-owned business. That's okay. You want to absolutely check that off. And there's a few, veteran-owned business. You want to check that off too. So anything that you can do to get better attributes or whatever, if you have those available to you, do check those off under attributes. Your business description should start with the words home care in, senior care in, assisted living in, whatever your city and state is, and all the places that you serve, and any of the, companion care, 24-hour care, live-in care, all of those things should be in that business description. Fit them in. Your opening date, if you know it, or just a year, that's fine. Initial photos and videos. You should always upload some photos and videos. The more original they are and not stock photo-y they are, the better. But if you don't have anything but stock photos, use them anyway. Also, make sure you put your logo in there. We often will use there's also a header image that they ask for. We will often use a Facebook, their Facebook page header, like your Facebook business page. The header of that, which we create, we will use that also as the header for their Google My Business. Review ad users. I don't know exactly what add users means, but adding users would be like if you owned it and you wanted to add Valerie as a manager, you can add Valerie as a manager. Let's talk about reviews. Yeah, we'll talk about reviews in a minute. Of course, you want to get as many reviews as possible, but we're going to talk about that in a second. Create a Google My Business question and answer. Okay, as an admin of your Google My Business, you can ask questions and answer questions. So you want to ask questions, you want to type in questions that use your keyword phrases, and then you want to answer the questions the same way. You want to answer them with your keyword phrases. I'll show you an example in just a second. Submit to directory aggregators and industry-specific directories. So this is what we call citations. And we use a certain service for our clients. We get 75 or 50 maybe citations. For them, that means that they are listed on other directories besides Google. What Google does is it says, oh, okay, you're here, you're here, you're here, you're here. I see it, it's all the same information. That's totally awesome. We believe you, we know that you're real, and that's fabulous, and you have more credibility because you're listed in all these other places. All right. Ongoing. As questions are submitted, if you have questions from other people, which I find in the senior care space doesn't happen that often, you definitely want to respond to those, and you want to answer them with keyword phrases. Yes, we provide home care in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Yes, we provide live-in home care in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Whatever the question is, answer it with a keyword phrase involved. That will help you tremendously. Reviews. Absolutely respond to every single review, good or bad, no matter what. Go back. If you haven't responded in 5 years, go back to the ones that don't have a response and respond to them anyway. The person who left the review probably will never see it. So if it's a bad review, let's start there. Take 24 hours, think about what you're going to say, and then respond to the review. Be very professional. Make the reviewer, especially if they're like a disgruntled employee or something, that make them look kind of dumb, by being extremely professional. And don't answer every bad review exactly the same way. You don't have to give details, but you can outline the steps that you took to verify that they were an employee, or you can take the steps to verify, why they were fired. You don't have to say, you can't say like why they were fired exactly, but you can give a human resources canned response, but don't make it the same for every bad review. If you have 2 or 3, mix it up so that the person, you're not writing the response to the person who left the review. You're writing the response to the person who is going to read the review when they go to check you out. So remember, you're not being a smart, what, is not a great idea. Take a minute, take a deep breath, answer very professionally, and don't give in to people who, ask all their friends to leave a similar bad review. Just keep saying, we have no record of you being an employee. We have reported this as a spam review or something like that. And definitely, if you get negative employee reviews that aren't identifiable, aren't correct, or just spamming because they're mad, you definitely need to report those to Google. And you can report a review by clicking on a little flag next to it and flagging it as inappropriate. And they'll ask you why. And for employees, I always put conflict of interest. And the reason it's a conflict of interest is because you're really not technically supposed to have employees leave your reviews. They weren't a user of your service. But I know in this industry, it's very common for us to have positive reviews left by our employees. So you can pick and choose how you want to do that. But for negative, disgruntled employee reviews, I always pick inappropriate review, and I always pick that it's a conflict of interest. Answer every single one. Answer questions and reviews with keyword phrases. Okay, Google My Business posting. You should be posting to your Google My Business at a minimum of 2 times a week. I prefer 5 days a week. I want you to know something about Google My Business posting. When you post, first of all, you can automate this, and we do for our clients, but we do it in a very special way. So when you automate Google My Business posting, first thing to know is that Google does read the text that is in your images. I'm going to show you what I mean by that in just a second. There's even a place you can go online and you can put in an image and say, hey Google, tell me what this says. And it will tell you exactly what text is in that and what it means. It's amazing. So even if you don't have a lot of text with your images, like as a caption to your images, it will read what is in your images. So website address, phone number, location, type of service. If that stuff is on your image, it'll read it. So add more photos as much as you can, which is also the blog posting stuff. Sending out review requests to customers. So we have a program in place for all of our clients who are in certain programs with a review program that's similar to, if you've heard of Bird Eye, which is probably on the high end, maybe $400 a month. Our clients get our review program for free. It's the same thing. It almost uses an identical platform, and what it does is it triages reviewers. It sends out three emails over the course of 10 days, politely requesting a review, giving a direct link to Google, Facebook, and a couple other places that they choose. And it's an awesome platform. And if they don't want to leave a good review, it will stop. It will not send them forward. It will ask them to fill out a form to let us know what the challenge was. And that goes straight to our client so that they can take care of that as customer service and not get a bad review. So yes, send out review requests all the time. Send them to people who haven't responded. Send them to old clients, family members. Send them to new clients. The day someone's enrolled, if things are going really well, you need to go ahead and send the family, or while you're there on an iPad, have them leave you a review. Whatever you can do to get more Google reviews. Check for spam listings. So this means that you might have multiple listings that aren't real out there in Google. Don't ever respond to a request for someone else to take over your Google listing. You don't know who they are. Do not respond to it. And you can also log in and review what's called insights inside of your Google My Business account. You can go in there and you can see how many calls you received in the last quarter, in the last month, directly from your Google My Business listing. How many photos, how many viewers, how many things have happened, how many new reviews you've received. So please go in and look at it. If you're doing the right things, those numbers should always be in an upward trend. All right, website. Your website and Google My Business work together very closely. If your website is Jank Store and hasn't been, and Jank Store means like junk store, and it hasn't been properly search engine optimized, Google is having a hard time reconciling your Google My Business listing versus your website. You don't want Google to have any problems. You want Google to love your website and to know that it matches your Google My Business listing. Just throwing your URL up there on your Google My Business listing is not how that works. You have to make sure things match. So the location and keyword are in your page title on your homepage. The meta description, this is stuff that's behind the scenes on your website. Has a keyword, category, a call to action. Your Google My Business categories are on the homepage somewhere. Your images on your website have alt tags, and that means that you've search engine optimized your images on all your pages, as well as the ones that are on your Google My Business listing. So if you have a 24-hour home care is one of your services or categories or whatever you call it in your Google My Business listing, you should have a 24-hour care image and a 24-hour home care page on your website. You need to create specific pages for each service or product offered, which we do. Duplicate suppression and data aggregator. So duplicate suppression just means that if you have duplicate listings on that, maybe one address is right, one address is wrong, and you can use a service for this. And data aggregators are there's 4 or 5 of them that really work with the United States, and I mean there's probably more, but there's 4 or 5 that we know of. And that just means they're just like clearinghouses of all the information that's out there for business addresses and who's who. So if you go to infousa.com, which may have been bought out now, I don't know, they would be like a data aggregator. Like you can buy a list from them of all of the businesses that are in home care in the United States, and stuff like that. So those are data aggregators. You want to make sure that if you've moved, especially if you've moved, change your name, even if your suite number has changed, you want to make sure that you have updated that everywhere, not just on your website, not just on your Facebook page, not just in your email newsletter, but everywhere, which means going back to a service that you've used in the past and updating all those listings. Yes, that costs some money, but it's not that big of a deal. In the grand scheme of things, it will help you, not hurt you. Okay, so this is our checklist. You can get it for free at asnmarketingplan.com/gem. Now we're going to look at my Google My Business listing, because that's just the easiest way to do it. So if you were to type in Approved Senior Network, you're going to see my Google My Business listing here. In fact, let's do this, but let's do it on let's go to an incognito window so that Google doesn't know that I'm logged in. Okay. So if you go here, you can see lots and lots of things. First of all, you can see, if you want to see photos, you can see photos. Lots of photos we've had in there over the years. Some of them I love, some of them I hate. But anyway, we try to put stuff that's not just stock photos in there. We have 21 Google reviews, which you can see. We take online appointments. You can see our website, directions, save call. We do not, we're a service area business. We service the entire United States. But just know this, that it doesn't matter that you serve a 50-mile radius. I guarantee you that if you are located in St. Charles, Missouri, or New Brunswick, New Jersey, or wherever you're located, your listing is truly only going to show up within a couple of mile radius of your local address. Why? Now you can get it to show up, you can get your website to show up further than that, but your listing probably isn't going to show up all the way across the state or all the way, 10 miles from you. Why? Because they're going to show other local listings 10 miles away. They're going to show other people's businesses that are closer. And because Google wants to make some money, they want you to advertise to have that kind of reach. So they're not going to show you in every little city across the state. Your website may very well show up everywhere across the United States, or across your state or across 2 counties. But your Google My Business listing, chances are, is not going to show up that far out. You can have multiple Google My Business listings in different territories to help you, but that's a whole different conversation. If people want to make appointments with us, we do have an appointment setting here. If you were to click on that, it would take you to Bob's appointment schedule. We do have office hours because we are not a 24-hour business, and you'll notice this is not our real phone number. Actually, our phone number is 888-404-1513, but because we have this hooked up to our CRM, I want to know every time somebody dials this number, I want to know where they're coming from and what they need or want. So this number is secretly from our CRM, and if you call it, and if I don't answer, like right now while I'm on this webinar, when I don't answer it, it will text you back and say, and all the spammers get a text too, it'll text you back and say, I'm sorry, I wasn't able to return your call, blah, 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 blah. And I'll listen to the voicemail, and if you're not a spammer, I'll call you back. Look at the products. So these are actually services, but we put them in as products. So if you want to view all, you can see we have senior care options, Google enhanced marketing, skip recruiting, skip care, senior care websites, ADA accessibility, website chat, and smart CRM. So, and we probably need to update those, and you would too from time to time. But see, we just did something pretty super easy, and Google can read the text in these images, so it knows that we do websites and leads and recruiting and stuff like that. We also have categories set up, SEO and content programs, services and recruiting. So you can see that it's all listed nicely right here on our Google My Business. So I highly recommend doing this. All right, let's talk about questions. See all questions. So let's look at all the questions. So I put these in and I answered them. I don't know why this answer isn't showing up. Oh, it's going to ask me to log in to do that. We're not going to do that. Let's go back to questions. No. Okay. So when I answer a question like this, it says, is your senior care recruiting program more expensive than Hierology or less expensive? I put that in there for a reason. And you know what? For senior care recruiting, as soon as I put this question in there like this and I answered it with our caregiver recruiting programs are typically less expensive than Hierology, offer more automation, more customization, and appeal to a wider audience in home care and senior care. Thank you for asking. I asked, I answered. Don't go crazy and put 500 questions and answers in here. This isn't what that's for, but 12, 15 is perfect. So I use caregiver recruiting, I use senior care recruiting, and our website is now moving up the ramp for both of those keyword phrases. How can I learn more about your caregiver HHA CNA RNL recruiting platform? I don't see an answer there. And some of these I have answered, but the answers aren't showing up. It could be my fault. How long have you been doing home care website development? Notice I used the word home care website development. That's a keyword phrase that's important to us. for you, it would be, do you offer 24-hour home care? Or do you offer 24-hour home care in New Brunswick, New Jersey? And the answer should have something similar. We have been developing home care websites, assisted living websites, care home websites, and senior placement websites, and care management websites since 2008. Are your home care websites fast loading on mobile, and do they look great on mobile devices? Yes, that's a typo. Home care websites we develop are fast on mobile, fast on desktop, convert traffic to home care leads, look amazing on mobile devices. Google says everything is mobile first, and we live by that rule. So you can see where I'm trying to get home care marketing. Home care marketing. I'm not overdoing it. I'm not making it crazy, but I'm definitely adding in some keyword phrases here. All right, so that is how you do questions and answers. You can ask, you can answer. Let's go to reviews. So let's view all Google reviews. So here's our friend Bill from Suburban Home Care. So he said, Suburban Home Care in Downers Grove, Illinois has been in business for over 25 years. I finally found the perfect company to design, develop, and host a great website that has strong SEO to bring customers to me. I'm very grateful for partnering with Valerie and her entire staff. I did not write that. Bill really did write that. That is really Bill. So what I said was, hi Bill, thank you for these kind words. Your new home care website for you guys, it would be, thank you for these kind words. We are so glad that we could provide hourly home care for your mom in blah, blah, blah. Or we are honored to be, I said, we are honored to be of service to you and your company. Thank you for serving seniors and families. So everybody who wrote me something, I wrote something back. You can write up to 1,000 words, I think, or 1,000 characters. I can't remember which. As long as this one has the keyword phrase new home care website, as long as you get a keyword phrase in there, that's all you need to do. So real reviews from real people who have been real clients, but my answers are very specific. I definitely want SEO, client job, I want website to be in there, newest, highest, lowest, yeah, 8 years ago. So that's how you do reviews. So you see how we're using keyword phrases for all of this? Here is our business description. The most trusted resource since 2008 for online marketing consulting for small business, digital marketing, more clients, leads, SEO, content, website development. I could have done a better job. I could have put the words home care in there. This is the posting that we've been doing. So if you want to look at the posting, you can see we've used hashtags. We've used our website address. And the words that are in these, if I were to click on it, things to keep in mind as you market online. It can read those pieces. Do you work with seniors and families? List your senior care business with Approved Senior Network. And there's our website address. There's our logo. Here's a blog post that came in. This is a new video that just went up. You can also put videos in here directly. For more inspiration for senior care business owners with Valerie V here. So if there's words in the pictures, Google can read them. Sometimes it doesn't really matter, but it is going to see asnmarketingplan.com. Nothing can dim the light that shines from within. Find senior services. So some of these are way more relevant than others, but the good news is Google can read all of it. So you definitely want to make sure that when you're posting, you're also using keywords and hashtags. Now, Google's not big on hashtags yet, but they do make a difference. So definitely use some hashtags. The other profiles that Google can find on you are going to be down here in the bottom. So make sure you have LinkedIn, Facebook, maybe Twitter. I know for sure they pick up on Facebook and LinkedIn really easily. Okay. So those are the things that you should be doing and seeing with your Google My Business listing. The way that your website matches up with this listing is very, very important. It's not just the listing, it's not just your website. The two of these together will work to bring your website up to speed. So please, 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 if you have a Google My Business listing, Go in, jazz it up, make sure your website, and if you need help, of course, let us know. We will help you with that. But the Google My Business program that we have helps people get more visibility where they are. So thank you very much, everybody. I hope you had a good lesson in Google My Business today. I am going to stop sharing, and we're going to call it a day, and I'll make sure the replay is posted. Thanks, everybody. Bye.